Okay, so this is my production account, and this is a dev account. In the production account, we'll be having a S3 bucket, right? So there will be S3 bucket. Now, if it's a Zomato project or any other, right? If any other famous your project, okay. So if so this production account means all the live, it is a live environment, right? Any object coming here, right? Whatever user is coming, all the user data will be stored here, right? Everything will be stored here in this. Okay, now in the development account, the developers will work on the new updates, right? So they need to work on, they need to understand the user model, right? So developer might need access to S3 bucket. So previously, if cross account wasn't there, so what we used to do, we will create a username and password, and we'll give this entire production access to some developer. Okay, if there's a developer here, we'll give this entire production access to that developer. Okay, so that he can come and he can take the bucket. Now, what AWS has come up with? So, as I told you, AWS follow defense in depth, right? So they are like, okay, developer wants only S3 access. Why do we have to give him entire access? So why can't we give only that particular access? Okay? That's where we got introduced to cross account role. Okay, this is called cross account role. Okay, there's different user from different account can access to this particular account only to the particular resources. Okay, so how did we do it? So we created a role with S3 access, right? First we created a role with full S3 access, and then we have created customer managed policy with STS assume role. Okay, and then we gave this STS customer managed policy to this user. Now, whenever user wants to access this bucket, so we log in this as a user and we'll do switch roles. We'll do switch roles. Since he has this roles, he can get access to S3 bucket without coming into this bucket at all, without coming into this your production account. Did you guys see how much useful it is in real time? So his user is a dev account only. He just signed into his account. Now, whenever he wants to access S3 bucket, he'll just do the switch roles. Okay. So please go through yesterday's videos. You can mention that in your resume or in your interview as well. All right. This is the main advantage of cross account. Right. And then we talked about permission boundary, right? Inline policy. What do you mean by IAM federation? Right. What do you mean by Open ID Connect? Everything I have explained in yesterday's video. If you guys haven't watched it, please go and watch it because I cannot explain it again now because there's a lot of topics to cover. All right, so we'll start our today's session. So today we're gonna talk about one of the most and widely used service. Okay, you guys are already know about it. So today I'm gonna talk about S3. What is S3? Anyone? Why it is called S3?
Simple service.
Yes, it's a simple storage service, right? So basically S3 is our storage service. Okay, so now you will understand why what kind of storage service, what kind of storage, and what is the option this has, what are the features it has, right? And how all you can play with this S3 bucket, right? What all you can do with S3 bucket, everything you will learn in this complete entire class. Okay, so we'll start. Okay, right. So as the name itself, it is saying simple storage service. So most popular, very flexible and inexpensive storage. Remember, S3 is it's a free of unlimited storage, right? There's no limitation in the S3. You can store unlimited. However, you will only pay for the data transfer cost. Please remember it. Okay, for storing your data and all, they won't be costing. Okay, and there is no limitation also. It's not like you can store up to 1 TB, 2 TB. No, you can store unlimited of data, but each object you upload, no, that object has a limitation of 2 TB object, not bucket. All right, so store large object using key value approach. Okay, you guys know what is key value. Okay, and then also called as a object storage. This S3 we also call it as object storage. Okay, it provides REST API to access and modify. So it will basically use get object, put object, REST API calls to get any objects in the S3 bucket. Okay, so as I told you, it provides unlimited storage with 4.9 availabilities. Can you guys see it? Here it is a 4.9 and 11.9 durability. That means there's a 0.001% of losing your data. There's no chance of losing data in S3, right? That's why people are storing everything in S3 bucket, right? So it store all file types. There's no, any limitations here. You can store text, binary, backup, and archive, whatever kind of data. For everything you can store S3. You can use S3. Yeah. So since it's providing all this robust feature and all, so it's your, like, if you're a cloud engineer, right? If you are going into implementation, you should know how to play with S3. Okay, so what I'm going to do along with the console, along with this PDF slide, so I'll go explain all the features one by one. Okay, properties, right? Permissions, management, access points, everything I'll explain in today's class. Okay, so in S3, so there's only two you remember is one is object and bucket. So it's very simple. So this is your S3 bucket. So whatever you put file, okay, if you put any file, video, audio, whatever your data backup drive, your archive files, whatever you put, all these things we call it as object. That's it. This is your bucket. This is your object. Okay. So objects are stored in buckets. Buckets names are globally unique. Okay. So this bucket names, whatever you give, no, it should be globally unique. Okay. Even in your project, even in your application, same bucket name should not be there. It will not allow at all. Should be globally unique. Okay, excuse me. Each object is identified by a key value pair. Okay, if you see here, max object size is 5 TB, guys. Even though it stays unlimited storage, okay, but object size max is 5 TB. Please remember this point. That's why we have a highlighted here with a bold, right? So 5 TB max, you can store up to 5 TB. Let's say you might get a question now, what if my object is 10 TB? If you are uploading a backup drive of your old project, if it's 10 TB, how you gonna do? Very simple, right? You have to go break into 5 TB, 5 TB, right? You have to break and you will upload it as a part upload. When that option is giving by S3. Okay, you will get to know here in coming slides. All right, so any doubt till here in the basics? You guys know what is S3 bucket, why it is most popular, what is its availability and durability. Please remember that word. It is 4.9 availability, right? And it is 11.9 durability. 11.9 means 99.9999. Okay, 4.9 means 99.99. Please remember this. 4.9's availability, 11.9's durability.
ये सब 4.9 एबिलिटी एंड ड्यूरेबिलिटी ये नहीं समझे. एबिलिटी ड्यूरेबिलिटी मतलब कब तक चलेगा?
Availability means let's say now you will if you upload here, okay, you will upload your project file here. Okay, even if it's a data outrage, right? Even if there's a network issues, let's say you'll put this S3 bucket somewhere in any other region. Okay, no matter whatever it is, you will get your file highly available. No matter any region you deploy, you will get your files. That's what AWS is saying. Durability. Okay, so there is no chance of losing your data. Like if suppose if any patching happens, that you might lose your data, or some data expiration happens, right? Or if anyone hackers come in and get access, right? Even if anything hack happens also, they will restore your data. That's why they're saying durability.
Right, right.
There's no chance of losing your data. That is why, like, people, most of them in real time, they're using S3 bucket. All right. So now, if this is clear, we're gonna talk about its features, right? So first feature is S3 versioning. So as I told you, I'll be showing you along with console. Okay, so that it will be very easy for you guys to remember. Okay, let me log into console. Oh, see, creating a S3 bucket, anyone can do it, guys. Okay, so if you just go create bucket, give name, couple of tricks, anyone can do, right? But what is the essence of this course? What is the essence of you guys learning this is you have to learn its features. Okay, what is the features means? See, if you see, just creating bucket. After that, you have to know how to play with the properties of it. What do you mean by versioning? What do you mean by encryption? What do you mean by server access logging? What do you mean by cloud trial events? Why they have given event bridge? What is transfer acceleration? All those things I'll teach you. Okay, all those things you should be knowing. And the permissions, how to play with the permission, S3 bucket permissions, right? How to follow least privilege access, right? And then metrics is just like how many are accessing and all. The management. Okay, so life cycle rules, replication rules, everything I'll teach you. So if you know this, all this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tabs, then you will be calling as a perfect cloud engineer, one end-to-end S3 bucket knowledge. That's what I'm going to do in this class. All right, so shall we start our S3 class?
No, sure, start.
All right, yeah, so let's first, I'll show you how to create a S3 bucket. Click on create bucket. Okay, just if you guys see here, your S3 is a global service. Okay, so it is showing as a global, but while deploying, you will deploy in a region. Okay, if you see, it is asking us to select a region. Even though S3 is our global service, we have to select a region while deploying. Okay, so just give TravelX demo bucket. Okay, region. Okay, let me select the same. Okay, if you have your old bucket, you can copy all that bucket. If you don't have anything, just leave it. Don't touch anything. Okay, just don't touch anything. Just click on create bucket. Right, it's not contain of pair characters. Right, okay, see, this is how easy it is. Just click on create bucket and give the name and create. So anyone can create S3 bucket. As a cloud engineer, you should be knowing all those things. Okay, so how to upload object? Very simple. Just click on upload, right? And you can upload whatever files you want from your system, right? Or if you can write your code, whatever you want. If you see all my documents, I can upload here. All right, so this is the first way of, This is how we can create a S3 bucket. Okay, at the end of the class, as I told you in Terraform, how can you launch S3 bucket using Terraform script also, I'll show you. Okay. Right. Now, this is our demo bucket. So first property, what we're going to touch today is S3 versioning. Okay. So what do you mean by S3 versioning? So, and why do we have to create it? Is it protects against accidental deletion. Okay, versioning is optional and is enabled at bucket level. You can turn on versioning on non-version bucket as well. Okay, but you cannot turn off versioning on a version. So basically, okay, so if you go and enable means, so versioning is a means of keeping multiple variants of an object in the same bucket. That means I'll show you. Okay, this is your S3 bucket. Now you have uploaded one code. Okay, you uploaded, developers have uploaded one code, okay, for your new project. Okay, for your new project TravelX. This is your new project. But they have uploaded one code. They have completed only 50%. Okay, today is Tuesday, right? So Tuesday they have uploaded one code, right? So again, Wednesday they'll do some job. They'll again upload the same code, right? So what happens when they're uploading is if you enabled versions, it will create a versions, right? It will create a versions like this, so that you will get to know where all the changes have made, what all the new versions have uploaded. Okay, and it provides, if any one version deletes also, you can take back everything. That's the main advantage of enabling bucket version, right? So I'll show you now. Yeah, so I've enabled it, just a single click. So these all will not cost us. So whichever is free, I'll show you, right? So now I'll upload one object. Okay, so let's say the basic. Okay, I'll rock. Okay, rock.log. Right, it's uploaded. Okay, it is uploaded. If you see, I have uploaded one object here. So whatever it's there in S3 bucket, we call it as object, guys. Let it be video files, audio files, we'll call it as a objects. So now I have uploaded one object. Now let's say I'll upload again the same object. Again, same. I think I might. So in real time, if you do some changes and if you upload, okay. So if you click on this, can you guys see here versions? It
Yeah,
has
there are two
created.
versions.
Yeah, it has created. So it will. So if you go on uploading, you can see how your object is evolved. Okay, so you can see at what time it has changed. Okay, if you see the time difference, right? It is 1 second. It is second at 40 seconds. Now again, I'll upload the same thing. Okay, again I'll upload the same thing. Again, you will see it. Okay, so only if you enable versions only you will get it, that option, or else you will not.
So by default, version is enable.
No, by default it won't be. You have to enable if you need it. As I told you right here in, it is optional.
Yeah.
Versioning is optional. All right. So I've uploaded the same file. So now if you click on file, go to versions, see one more version. So this is the base one, right? I mean, this thing, and whatever the new versions is created, everything you can see. Okay. So if anyone deletes it also, you will get the other versions. Is it clear, guys? Versioning.
Yes, it's skipping the duplicate area for it's
No,
skipping
you can
duplicate.
see how many updates have been given to this object. Okay, you can see, right, how many times this object has changed. Okay, so if let's say versioning is not there, Okay, how will you get to know whether it is a latest updated or not? Okay, so only if versioning is enabled, if you click on this object, okay, they'll see versions. Okay, when did they update? Okay, it is updated recently, it has updated. They'll see like this, they'll get to know that it is an updated file. That's the advantage of version in real time. Is it clear, guys?
Yeah, clear, sir.
Others? Shivraman, Muntaz?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so one static website hosting is there. I'll show you at the end of the class, right? For that, I need to explain about the policies. Okay. Now, after versioning, what do we have? We have tags. Okay, we can use bucket tags to store to track storage cost and organize. So it's just that giving a name. That's it. Okay. So if you give just tag, okay, I'll give dev. This is a dev bucket. Okay, just giving tags. That's it. If you give the tag, it is very easy to, you know, while seeing in the cost as per the cost perspective, you can track it easily. All right. So that's the purpose of tags. And then encryption. All right, this is something important. Okay, so here they have 3 types of encryption. I'll explain you that. What are this encryption is? So first of all, what do you mean by encryption, guys? I think I have
Hiding the data from readable format.
yes, making data unreadable, making data the unreadable format, right? So that's what you mean by encryption. Okay, so basically what Amazon S3 bucket, if you enable S3 bucket is, so any hacker, right, if anyone who doesn't have permission, they cannot read this data. Okay, so if you see this, why can I see this object and all? Because I'm the owner of this account. No, I'm the owner. That's why I can see this. Now if you guys log in, you cannot see it. Okay, yeah, that's how it works. So now what is encryption? What are the different types of encryption is? Where is a bucket? Travelex.
Dash 3 dash.
Okay, so if they ask you to please what are the different types of encryption and how do we use it is, so while for encryption, okay, how encryption happens is, suppose if okay, how encryption happens is, so this data, it will make it as, if it's encrypted, it will be having one key, right? Using that key, it will make this Adil as something like this, right?
Cipher form.
Yes. Okay, it will make first keys to encrypt and it will use again one more key to decrypt. Okay, so again that using that key, they'll decrypt it. Okay, so to encrypt and decrypt, they need some keys. Okay, they need some keys, right? They're using those keys, they'll encrypt and decrypt. Now, what S3 is giving option here is, so you can use server-side encryption with Amazon S3 keys. That means, what that means, you don't have to worry about this keys for your encrypting, decrypting. You don't have to worry about the keys. AWS will take care of it. It will use, it will automatically encrypt, it will automatically decrypt. You don't have to worry. Where? In SSC S3. Wherein server-side encryption with AWS key management service. Okay, so in this service, what happens? You will get the keys. Okay, you will get to see. You can create your own keys. You can create your own keys using one service called KMS. you can create your own keys, but that key will be inside your AWS only, right? But you will get the visibility of keys. Here you will not get visibility of keys. Please remember it, guys. Okay, in SSC S3, you will not get visibility of keys. S3 only will manage it. S3 only will create keys. It will encrypt, it will decrypt, it will only keep. But if you select server-side encryption with KMS, you will have a visibility over keys. You can see the keys. Okay, and you can use your keys to encrypt and decrypt. Is it clear? Is these two steps clear?
Yes.
Okay. So, and then one more option is dual layer server-side encryption with KMS. Okay, actually there were one more option called customer managed keys. Okay, that means your keys managed by S3, your keys managed by KMS, right? One more is CMK. So CMK means from your on-prem, you will have entire over keys. You can create your keys from your on-prem. You can use your on-prem keys, right, to encrypt and decrypt. But here you have to be very careful. If you lose these keys, for sure your data, S3 bucket, encryption and all, everything lost. AWS is not responsible if you lose, because this is your key, right?
Yes.
What about in KMS keys? Even though if it's our keys, KMS is a AWS service, key management service. It will be in the AWS, right? You can use it. It's CMK, which you will be using on your own. You will be
On
creating
disk.
this from on-prem. So we have to be very careful. Okay. Is it any doubt here? So any talk about encryption about S3, please mention these three. Very important. Server-side encryption. Server-side encryption means on AWS level. Okay. Server-side encryption using S3, first option. Second option is KMS. Third option is CMK. Is it clear, guys? Encryption. Any doubt on encryption? Muntaz, Gajanan,
No, sir.
Sivraman. If you guys don't focus, definitely it will be very difficult to understand later. All right. So if you now I've enabled, we have selected. So by default, it will be there, guys. SSCS3. Okay. So by default, it will be enabled as per the new AWS rule. Okay. It will be encrypted. If you want, you can use your KMS keys. So if you select KMS keys, see, it is asking for key ARN. You need to give your keys. That's it. All right. So what all we have covered? Versioning completed, tags completed, encryption completed. Okay. So this is intelligent tiering. This I'll talk in storage class. Okay. Then server access logging. So what do you mean by server access logging? What is this option? Okay, it is very simple, guys. Okay. So now this is your prod S3 production bucket, right? If this is your S3 production bucket, now you might feel, right, someone, you want to know who all is accessing this bucket. Okay, who all is accessing bucket, who all is taking objects from this bucket, right? So you want to see the access log. How can you see it, right, about your bucket? Like your CCTV camera, right? Like your CCTV camera. How can you see it? Is by enabling this.
Hello. It's not audible. Your voice is not coming.
Hello.
Yeah, now coming.
I'm audible, right?
Yeah, now audible.
Yeah. Okay. So you can enable, okay, only if you enable this, excuse me. So it's very easy, guys. S3, just single click. So if you enable it, you have to give a target S3 bucket. Now, if I give any one bucket, let's say 1231 demo. Okay. So now what it's saying is, so anyone, so whoever is coming to this bucket, whoever is accessing object, whoever is going out, like your CCTV logs, everything, all the logs will be stored in this bucket. You can go this bucket and you can see your server access logging. Is it clear about this option?
So only for log purpose, it is using server access login,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, log purpose means for S3, for your this S3 bucket, for your bucket.
Right, S3 for S3 bucket.
Only for S3 bucket. If you want to see whoever is coming around, you can see those logs by enabling it.
Right. Thank you.
Okay, so again, we have something called cloud trail data events. Okay, so this will talk when we talk about monitoring service about cloud trail. Now, if I say, it will be confusing for you guys. Okay, so we'll talk about event notification. So what is event notification is send a notification when specific events occurs in a bucket. That means, so as I told you, this is your prod account. Okay, first, as per the security, you will get to, if you enable server access, you will get to know whoever is come, whoever has gone, right, by going through logs. Now, there's one more option S3 is giving. As soon as any API action done, so API action means put object, right, get object, delete object inside S3. If anyone deletes this object, right, and if anyone put new object, if anything happens, you want to be notified. Your app team, your particular project team, or your developers need to be notified. How? Through something called event notification. So what it is saying, send a notification when specific event occurs in your bucket. This is a very, very, very useful feature, guys. Okay, so if anything happens, immediately we'll get to know. Okay, you can give get object. Okay, rest or leave it. Okay, if let's say put, so event types, what event types, if anyone puts anything, I should get to know. Okay, right, destination, where you need to send, or whether you need to send to your Lambda function or to your SNS topic or to your SQS queue. Okay, so basically what it is saying is, you can send it to Lambda. So what Lambda does is, so if let's say, if anyone trying to delete this object, if you send this event to Lambda, okay, here in Lambda, you can write a code. Okay, you can write a code. If anyone trying to delete it, you can immediately stop that. Okay, you can immediately stop it, or else you can send it to queues or SNS is something called simple notification service. You can give your organization email ID or phone number, you will get a message, right? Or you can send it to the SQS queues also. These are all the options it has. Okay, so if you give SNS topic, I'm not created SNS topic. If I created, I would have showed that if anyone put any object here, directly I'll get mail. Since I'm the bucket owner of it, I'll get an email that this object is uploaded in your bucket, like that. Is it clear, guys? This is a very useful feature. They will definitely gonna ask. Even if they don't ask, they'll ask you to configure in real time. Is it clear about event notification?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Here we can store like Lambda or anywhere.
You can send it to Lambda, SNS, or SQS.
It's a 3 place.
Only 3 places. Okay. So next is something called Amazon Event Bridge. For additional capabilities, use Amazon Event Bridge to build event-driven application to scale S3 using event notification. Okay, so it's similar to your event notification. Event Bridge is a bit costlier, but why? Because it contains, you can do a parallel thing at the same time. Okay, if you enable this event bridge, okay, on, see, just on, okay, so it will contain, sure. So if this is your S3 bucket, so now if any one event happens, you will get one event. Okay, you will get one event. But event bridge, what happens? It will create like this, like a bridge. Okay, and you can send it to any other Lambda and all. So here you will have a particular proper messages, proper notification with proper timings in event bridge. If you on, you will get proper entire more details. But also you should be know that it's a bit costlier event bridge. That's it. It's almost same as your event notification. Only thing is you will get more details in event bridge. All right. So next option, we have something called transfer acceleration. Okay. So what do you mean by transfer acceleration? Why they have given transfer acceleration? Hmm. If you see here, so what is transfer acceleration? It's enable fast, easy, and secure transfers of files to and fro from your bucket. Okay, so now if you upload any object to your bucket, and if you are downloading any object from your bucket, if you want to make it even more faster, so now I have uploaded only one file, only one object. That's why it is taking lesser time. Now let's say you are uploading usually in real time, right? If you are migrating or if you are uploading, you will be uploading 1 TB of data, 2 TB of objects, right? You will be uploading thousands of GBs, 100 GBs. So there it takes longer time, right? Uploading time and downloading time, it takes longer time. So if you want to reduce it, you can go and enable transfer acceleration. Okay, if you enable it, okay, it's just a single step. Just that's why I told you, right? AWS is very easy, guys, very easy, simple English, and just a single step. Okay, if you enable it, okay, now your client or whoever wants to upload to your bucket, you can send this accelerated endpoint. Okay, you can send this endpoint. Now if they upload it, it will be very fast. So let's say now to upload 2 TB of file, okay, if it takes 5 minutes, okay, if it takes once if you enable your transfer acceleration, and if you give this endpoint to your clients or to your users, so they can upload 2 TB within 1 minute. So remember, the higher the feature, the higher the cost. This transfer acceleration is a bit expensive. Any doubt here?
Yes, it's chargeable, sir. है ना?
Yeah, chargeable.
Mostly company, I think, is using this one because
Yeah.
he do not want to delay any data.
Yeah. So they don't want to delay it. So usually they'll use it. Okay, if you want to know the pricing, okay, you can go and see your data transfer pricing. What could be the cost, or per GB cost you will get to know here, and per region also you will get to know. Just go through this document if you guys are interested about the costing, because if you are in higher position, so they're very much keen about costing. You should be knowing it properly. Just a second, guys, I'm getting, okay, just a second.
Sure, sure.
All right, so that's how we use transfer acceleration. Okay, see guys, I'm explaining one by everything, so that you should be master in S3. Okay, so even though you feel bit of theory in S3, but this is how you should be knowing everything. then you can play around, right? So we have completed versioning, tags, encryption, server access logs, event notification, event bridge, transfer acceleration, and then comes your object lock. Okay, so what do you mean by object locks? Okay, it's very simple. In the name only, you can say Amazon S3 currently does not support anymore after a bucket has been created. So you can only enable object lock while creation of S3 bucket. Okay, so usually what if when do we use object log is, okay, I'll show you. Okay, this is a S3 bucket. So there is, let's say, the government datas. Okay, so health records, right? Usually when they store data, you will never delete it at all, right? You will only put data, but you cannot delete those objects no matter what. So in that scenario, you can, while creating it, you have to enable object log. If you see now we can't enable it. You have to enable while creating. So if you enable this object log, what happens? Okay. So now let's say I have this 1, 2, 3, 4 demo, one more bucket. So here I have objects, right? These objects I can delete, but if you have enabled object lock, I cannot delete. I will not get this delete option at all. Is it clear, guys?
So cannot delete by enabling the object data.
Yes.
Object layer. Nah?
Yes, yes. You cannot delete the object inside your S3 bucket, right? You cannot delete this at all. Once you have put, that is it. It is locked. That's why we call it the name object lock.
This is also chargeable.
This is no, it's not chargeable.
All right.
Okay, so this we'll use only for the very high critical data, right? Like your banking, your healthcare, right? If those kind of project, they will enable this stock exchange and all. All right, so requester pay. Okay, this is one of the very interesting feature is what this feature tells about is when enable the requester pay for request and data transfer cost and gets access to this bucket. Okay, what they're saying is I like this actually. So now you have S3 bucket here and you have stored a lot of movies collections, right? Old movies, new movies, Hollywood movies, Bollywood movies, whatever movies you want, you can store. This is unlimited storage, right? You have stored it. As I told you, there's no cost for storing, right? In S3, only you will be charged for data transfer. If you are downloading this, you will be charged. If you are uploading any data, you will be charged. Okay. Now, many applications, right? So, for example, Netflix, Hotstar, everything, they have uploaded their movie files in S3 bucket. So usually we can't download it. Okay. I mean, we can't download to our phone. Suppose if they have given option of downloading movies to our phone. Okay. So then in that case, okay, what they need to bear this cost, right? Data transfer cost. So suppose I'm the user here. Okay, I'm user here, Adil. Okay, if I want to download one movie from Netflix bucket, okay, so this data downloading cost, uploading will be costing to owner of this bucket. So what AWS has come up is, okay, so if you have clients, okay, if you have users who wants to download, just you can enable that pay option. So you can, if you enable this requester pay, so then if I want to download any object from this particular S3 bucket, I need to pay them for this data cron. Okay, so that owner will not be bear. Okay, this will not cost anything to owner. That's how this requester pay works. If you enable it, so if your requester will pay for a request and data transfer. Okay, he will get a link. If you see, if you disable it, bucket owner pays the cost of data request. If you enable, whoever requester, he will pay the cost of it. Any doubt here, guys?
No, sir. All our money.
Yeah, right. So this is how it works. Great. So we have one more option called static website hosting. So to talk about that, I need to talk about permissions. So don't worry about this. I'll explain you in a very simple way. This permission, how this permissions work in a diagram, so that it will be very useful for you. Let me clear this. How permission in S3 works, I'll show it to you now. All right. Now, this is your S3 bucket. Okay. And you have objects here in S3 bucket. Okay. You have stored multiple objects. So there are three type of permissions in S3 bucket. Okay. 3 layers. Okay. So first layer permission is okay. So now your S3 is there is a boundary for this S3 now. How you will get to know? If you go to policy, block all public access. Okay, it is turned on. That means it is blocking all the public access, all public access. That means there's a boundary, like invisible boundary here. Okay, there's a invisible boundary here. So if you have turned on, okay, if it's in green, that means you have blocked this public access. Now only I can see this data, whatever data is inside. Any users cannot see it. This is one per kind of permission, right? And second is bucket policies. So if you have this bucket, you can apply policies to your bucket. You guys know it, right? What do you mean by bucket policy, right? So if you give bucket policies, one second, guys. One second. Hello, sorry guys, I had got an important call.
No
Alright,
issue, sir.
so this is the permission boundary. Okay, first is your invisible, and second you will give permissions to your bucket level. Okay, that is your bucket policy. So here also you are giving boundary like this to your bucket, right? And third thing is you are giving one more permissions here on the objects as well. Okay, this is how S3 works, guys. See how I told you right in the initial classes defense in depth model. Each layer it has a protection. So if anyone wants to access the object in a S3 bucket, they need to go through all these layers. What is first layer? That is your block.
Bucket.
Yes, block all public access. What is second layer? Is your bucket policy. Okay, you need to allow bucket policies, and then third is your object ACL. We call it as object ACL, access control, object access control list. Okay, so even if you remove this boundary, again there will be bucket policy. Even if you remove this, then again you will be object ACL. After removing this, then only they will get the object. Okay, this is how it works. Okay, now see, block all public access is there, no? If I remove this, So now I have removed this boundary. Again, I'll be having
For
this
public.
yeah, public. So even though I have removed this boundary, any public is coming, can they get access here?
Yeah, bucket.
They can't. No, I need to give bucket policy, right? So I need to give bucket policy. So here I need to give whatever you want, you need to give, whether you want to put object or you want to give a list, only you want to read access, or you want only delete option, what you want, that policy you need to give. That is what we call it
This
as
is on
bucket.
a JSON we need to pull.
Yes, policy example 2 weeks. Here you will get policies. Can you guys see it here?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, you will get example policies depending upon your scenarios. Okay, so if you want, you can just copy paste it. Okay, if you see, it is allowing, right, from this account put object. Okay, and from the on this resource, on this S3 bucket. This is how you can play here. You can copy and you can just put the policy. So once you do this, then you'll give access to your bucket policy. And then you have one more thing is, what is that is object ACL. So go to permissions, block public, bucket policy, and then here is your object ownership or your ACL. Okay, so here on the object level also you can configure. You can give so list option, write option, read option. Here also you can make a configuration. You cannot either, if you want, you can stop giving access, right? Everyone cannot list it. You can block for the public to delete it, right? All those things you can do it. If you enable this, okay, can you guys see here? Now I have list and write, read and write only for me. If you want,
Bucket only, bucket
yeah,
no, object level.
bucket owner. And if you want, you can give to for public only read access, only list access, right? Or you can give to particular groups, right? And if you want, you can give external AWS bucket access as well. Add EC. If you want, I can, if this is my now this is my one account, right? Let's say this is my dev account. If you want your test people account to get access here, you can give their account number.
Oh, cross
That's it.
region also.
Yes, cross region also you can get. This is only for objects. Okay, they can either list, they can read, write, right? And you can give a grant. That's how useful features. Is that clear, guys? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. So now what we'll do, now you guys understood about the permissions, right? So now we can use S3 to host your website, right? You can also use your S3 to host your website. How? By using static website hosting. So I'll show you that simple demo now. Please remember, it's only for static website, not for dynamic. Okay, now I'll show you how to do it, right? So now we are into TravelX demo. We are into our TravelX demo. So if they ask you, please enable our S3 bucket for static hosting, you have to come here, edit, enable, okay, hosting type static, index document, always you should give index.html. This give it, save change. If you have HTML code, you can write it. If you don't have it, it's okay, you can upload it. Okay, I've enabled, and then I'll upload my HTML code. So I already have that HTML code. Okay, this is that my HTML code. I'll upload here, right? So upload. Right. So now I enable static website hosting and I've uploaded my code. Now this should work as my hosting platform. Now let's say this code will works or not. Can you see this error?
Access deny.
Why am I getting? Just now I've explained. Why am I getting this error, guys?
Because you didn't give it the permission.
Yes. So this 3 layers is there. We need to remove this layer. We need to give access to each layer. Now, in order to get this first layer, what we need to give? We need to turn on this. Turn on.
Public level.
Turn off. Okay, so let's do it. Okay. So if you know this, how this permission works, it will be very useful for you guys, right? Go to Travelex permissions, right? So if okay, I've already given public access. That's why it is red. Block all public is off. That means all the public can access. Even then, why I'm not getting is because there's no bucket policy. Here I need to give some policies. Here I need to tell my S3 bucket. Okay, I need to tell with S3 bucket with policy allow. Okay, allow that request to read, allow that request to delete. How can you say? Through bucket policy, right? So I already have my bucket policy. So this is my okay, just copy paste here, give on edit. Right? So give the bucket name. Okay, so can you guys see this bucket policy? So it is
Effect
pub,
is allow publicly.
public read get object. So any public can read this. Okay, can any public can come and read this. Only read access I'm giving. Star means anyone, but action I'm only allowing get. For which bucket? For only this bucket, not for all the buckets, only this bucket. This is how you play with permissions. Okay, so that means this layer I've removed, this bucket policy I've configured. Now request come go through this layer, it is opened, bucket policy is allowing for the get, we can only get the object. All right.
Yes, yes.
So we'll go to this object. Now we'll go to this example. Can you see this? So this is the code I've written.
Good.
Got it? So just try from your laptop whether it works. I'm just curious. I'll share it. Just try, click on that link.
Sir, is opening in my laptop also.
Yeah. So did you see it? So even though you are not user of this AWS account, even you can see my website. Okay, now. So any doubt here, guys? So still we have a lot. I thought of completing all the section, but it will be overwhelming.
No, yeah, it's good, sir.
Yeah. So properties we have completed, right? Properties, everything we have completed. Permissions we have completed. So only course is there. I'll explain. And then tomorrow we'll talk a little bit about management and access points, and then we are good to close S3. All right. So please do this. Okay, do this. I want you guys to, I want to see tomorrow when we are joining, I want to see this. Okay, you will get this HTML code from Google. Very simple code. I want you guys to host. I'll ask you to share your screen tomorrow. All right, guys.
Yes, yes.
Okay, we'll see you
Yeah.
tomorrow then.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you. Bye bye.
bye bye.